I wasn't even planning on making a video today. I'm in Taiwan, on the road, heading to Korean Blockchain Week. But I saw something, a piece of news so critical, so earth-shattering for anyone holding Hedera HBAR that I had to stop everything and get this out to you. What I'm about to show you will change your entire perspective on this project, on this market, and on your future. There is a secret playbook, and if you don't know the rules, you will miss out on the biggest financial shift of our lives. The clock is ticking, and everything is about to change very, very soon. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. Have you ever felt it, that quiet, frustrating feeling that you're in on a secret that no one else seems to get? You see the news, you follow the partnerships, you know the tech behind Hedera HBAR is league ahead of the rest, but you've also watched as the price has stagnated, as the market seems to ignore the fundamentals. It feels like you're waiting at a red light that just refuses to turn green no matter how much you rev your engine. That feeling, my friends, is what we call the quiet accumulation period. But what if that period is about to end? What if the signal we've been waiting for has just been given? On the 17th of this month, the SEC made a landmark announcement that went largely unnoticed by the mainstream media. They have now instated a new, streamlined process to fast-track ETF approvals for a select group of cryptocurrencies. This isn't a rumor, it's a verifiable fact. Think about the implications of that for a second. The very regulatory body that has been the biggest boogeyman in this space, the organization that has been the source of so much fear and uncertainty, just opened the door. And not just for any project, for about 10 to 12 cryptocurrencies on the planet. This is an exclusive club, a high-stakes game of poker, and the players are finally at the table. This is the first domino in a chain reaction that will fundamentally alter the market, and more importantly, put HBAR at the center of the conversation. For too long, the biggest obstacle for projects like ours has been the lack of a clear, regulatory-approved on-ramp for mainstream finance. We've had to rely on a mix of speculation, retail interest, and slow-moving corporate deals. But the SEC's move changes the entire narrative. It says, we are no longer ignoring you. It says, we have a process for you. It legitimizes the space in a way that no single partnership or technological breakthrough ever could. This is the first, most crucial piece of the puzzle, and we're going to walk you through exactly why this is the only thing that matters right now. And by the way, if you love breaking news and behind-the-scenes insights, you should totally hit that subscribe button. It's the easiest way to make sure you never miss a beat. You know that feeling of relief you get when you've been waiting for a critical test result? That nervous energy that turns into pure exhilaration when you see a big fat pass? That's exactly what the Hedera HBAR community should be feeling right now. There was a hidden, specific requirement for this SEC fast track to even be considered. A project had to have been trading on Coinbase derivatives for a minimum of 6 months. Think about how many projects this immediately disqualified. This wasn't just a hurdle, it was a gauntlet. It was a test of trust, a long-term commitment, and the truth is, most projects couldn't meet it. But HBAR did. It started trading on Coinbase derivatives on February 18th, 2025. This means that as of last month, we officially crossed that 6-month mark. We passed the test. We met the criteria. This isn't just a technical detail. It's a massive psychological win. It's a signal to the entire world that HBAR is not some flash-in-the-pan crypto. It is a long-standing, vetted project that has been deemed stable enough for a regulated US exchanges derivatives market. And that, my friends, is a huge deal. It's the proof we needed to show not just my skeptical Grandpa Leo, but every financial advisor, every fund manager, and every retail investor who has been on the sidelines waiting for a sign. I want you to imagine my Grandpa Leo again. He's the kind of guy who trusts a handshake and a bank statement. He laughed at me when I first told him about crypto, said it was like collecting baseball cards with no team. But when I showed him a headline about the SEC opening the door, and then showed him the fact that HBAR had been trading on Coinbase derivatives for a full 6 months, his face changed. He didn't understand the Hashgraph or the governing council, but he understood the legitimacy. He understood that a regulated body had given it their stamp of approval, and that for him was the final test. This is the new language of finance, and now we speak it fluently. We've been training for this moment, and now it's here. The ETF is no longer a distant dream, it is an imminent reality. Here's the part of the playbook they don't want you to know. The biggest, most dangerous misconception in crypto right now is that ETFs are for institutions. People think that once an HBAR ETF is approved, the massive funds are going to come rushing in and buy it. That's a total lie. It's a myth that could make you wait for the wrong thing. Let's get this straight. ETFs are not for institutions. ETFs are the ultimate tool for retail investors. They're the gateway drug for your average person, for people like my grandpa Leo who want to invest in crypto without actually owning it. Think about it. About 75% of all retail ETF inflows are done on these vehicles. That's a tidal wave of cash, a tsunami of new money flowing into the market. But the real institutional money, the kind that makes the price of a crypto moonshot, is a different beast entirely. It's something called a Digital Asset Treasury, or a DAT. These are companies that buy and hold billions of dollars of a single asset on their balance sheet. We're talking about giants like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy, which has over $40 billion 0 cents in Bitcoin, or Tom Lee's BitMine, which is now stacked over $9 billion 0 cents in Ethereum. These are the whales. These are the players who move the market. And here is the core terrifying truth. A company will not launch a DAT unless there is a legitimate, liquid, and easily accessible market for the asset. And what creates that? The flood of volume and interest from a successful ETF. So you see, the ETF is not the final prize. It's the first step. It's the necessary on-ramp to get the DAT players to even consider you. The ETF is the warm-up act, the stage setter, the appetizer. The DAT is the main course. The ETF creates the perception of stability and liquidity that institutional money requires. So while everyone else is talking about ETFs, you and I are going to be watching for something much bigger. We're going to be waiting for a major corporation to announce an HBAR DAT. That's the real signal. That's the moment we've been waiting for. Don't just take my word for it. Let me show you the evidence. The playbook I'm describing isn't a theory, it's a proven reality. Look at the charts for two of the biggest cryptos out there, Avalanche and Solana, CLO. Both of these projects saw massive, explosive pumps recently. Avalanche is up over 42% in the past month, and Solana is up over 31% despite its massive $130 billion 0 cents market cap. So what was the catalyst? Was it an ETF? No, it was a DAT. The Avalanche Foundation publicly announced that they were seeking to raise a staggering $1 billion 0 cents to directly buy AVAX. $1 billion for a project that was only at a $13 billion 0 cents market cap? That's a huge deal. It's a buyback on a massive scale. And for Solana, the reason it's pumping is because Galaxy Digital announced a $1,650 million 0 cents raise to directly acquire Sol. This is the playbook in action. This is the difference between a project that slowly grinds higher and one that goes parabolic. ETFs bring volume, DATs bring institutional conviction and move the market. This is the hard truth you need to understand. You have to be in a position to benefit from both. You have to be in the project that is eligible for the ETF and is on the short list of projects that a company would consider for a DAT. And as we've already established, Hedera HBAR is on that list. This is why we have to position ourselves now. The ETF is coming, and with it, the DAT will follow. This is not a guess. This is the proven, successful pattern of this bull market. This is the difference between making a small profit and changing your life. Remember the roller coaster of the past few months? The endless stream of memecoins and creator-led projects? It felt like every day there was a new dog coin or frog coin going 100x. And if you're being honest with yourself, you probably felt that pull, that little voice in your head telling you just a little bit of money, a quick gamble. But what did that get us? A market full of people who have been burned. A market that is tired of scams. I want to tell you something that might be uncomfortable to hear, but it's the truth. The memecoin market was a massive max extraction event. It wasn't about community, it was about the creator getting their fees, making their money, and leaving everyone else holding the bag. It's a short-sighted model with no sustainable value, and the proof is in the data. Since the primary platform for launching these coins started, do you know how many of them have a market cap over $1 billion? One. A single one. And it's a coin called FARC. No, I'm not making that up. This is a market that has run its course. People have been farmed, bundled, and taken advantage of, and they are tired of it. This is why the narrative is finally, blessedly shifting. The frustration and disillusionment that has built up is not a bad thing. It's a necessary cleansing of the market. It means that the next wave of capital, the next round of new money, isn't going to be looking for a fleeting trend. They're going to be looking for something with real utility. They're going to be looking for projects that solve real problems. They're going to be looking for a project with a proven track record. They're going to be looking for HBR. The end of the memecoin era isn't a loss, it's our greatest win. It's the market finally coming to its senses. This all comes down to one single fundamental problem that has held HBAR back for too long. It's not the tech, which is best in class. It's not the partnerships, which are unparalleled. It's the lack of liquidity flowing into utility coins. We have been in a liquidity drought. Fresh money, new capital has not been flowing into projects that build and create. It's been flowing into speculation and gambling. This is why the HBAR price hasn't had the run we've all been imagining, because you can have the best car in the world, but if there's no gas in the tank, it's not going anywhere. But the drought is ending. We just saw a new utility coin called Aster run up an unbelievable 1,800% in just the last 7 days, simply because a major player in the space started talking about it. This isn't just a random pump, it's a signal. It's the market saying, we are ready for utility again. It's a massive win for the entire utility coin ecosystem. And when money starts flowing into one area, it doesn't just stay there. It moves. It looks for the next great opportunity. And what project is perfectly positioned to catch that wave of new capital? The project that has the tech, the partnerships, the ETF eligibility, and the institutional interest. The one and only Hedera HBAR. This is why I'm so excited. This is why I had to make this video, because for the first time this cycle, the conditions are right for a true fundamental shift in value. We have the proof that the market is hungry for utility, and we have the ingredients for a life-changing price movement. It's not just a hope anymore, it's a plan. Just when you thought you had all the pieces, there's one more massive, almost unbelievable catalyst that is about to flood the market with liquidity. It's a painful reminder of a dark chapter in crypto, but it's a reality we have to face. We are talking about the FTX creditor payouts. There is still an estimated $16 billion, 0 cents, earmarked for the people who were victims of that crash. A staggering amount of money. And it's coming. Think about the psychological impact of this. These are people who have been through the fire. They have been burned. They are not going to be interested in the next quick gamble. They are going to be looking for a safe, secure, and legitimate place to put their money. They're going to be looking for a project that is built to last, that has institutional backing, and that prioritizes transparency. And this isn't just $16 billion, 0 cents of new money. It's $16 billion, 0 cents from a demographic that is going to be incredibly risk averse. And what project is the logical choice for them? A project with a governing council of some of the world's largest companies. A project that is built on a decentralized consensus model. A project that has just been given a clear on-ramp to mainstream finance. A project like HBAR. This is the great liquidity shift in action. The money isn't just coming from anywhere, it's coming from people who are hungry for a new legitimate home for their capital. This is not just a statistical event, it's a massive emotional return to the fundamentals, and we, the HBAR community, are the ones who are ready to welcome them home. So let's put it all together. This is the entire playbook, the full circle story, and the final puzzle piece that gives you the ultimate advantage. 1. The SEC has opened the door to ETFs. 2. HBAR has passed the crucial 6-month test on Coinbase derivatives, making it a prime candidate. 3. The ETF will bring in a flood of retail liquidity and create the market perception needed for the next step. 4. The next step is the Digital Asset Treasury, DAT, which is the real source of institutional money. 5. We've seen the playbook in action with Avalanche and Solana, and we know that DATs are the real catalysts. 6. The market is shifting from memecoins to utility, evidenced by the massive Astar pump. And 7. A massive emotional influx of $16 billion, 0 cents from FTX creditors is on its way, seeking legitimacy. This is the story, this is the path, this is how HBAR goes from being a quiet, fundamental gem to a market leader. It's not about hoping for a narrative, it's about a narrative that is already unfolding right in front of our eyes. The question is, are you ready? Are you in a position to profit from this once-in-a-cycle opportunity? Are you going to be the person who saw the signs and acted on them? I've given you the tools and the information, the rest is up to you. I can't wait to see your thoughts in the comments. So what do you think? Are you ready for the next phase? The future isn't a mystery, it's a plan. It's looking good right now, but it won't look good forever. The time to position yourself is now. The time to lock in is now. This is a moment in crypto history you'll be telling people about for years. So stay vigilant, stay informed, and I'll see you all very, very soon.